Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Android application development tutorial. So in today's episode we are going to learn about how to working with the menus in Android. So in Android version 3.0 and above there is action bar is available. So for 3.0 and above you have to place the menus on the action bar. But for versions 3.0 and lower there is a menu button is available on all the devices, but the menu button is already deprecated, so you have to place the menus on the action bar. So create a project in Android Studio. So you have to make sure that the project minimum SDK version is 3.0. This is because we are going to place the menus on the action bar. The action bar is available from 3.0 onwards. That's why I ask you just make sure that your project minimum required SDK version is 3.0. So here I already created a project in Android Studio. The minimum SDK version is 3.0. So before going to make any changes on this application, now I am going to run this application. So click the run button. So now the project is available on the virtual device. So on this activity, this top black ribbon is called the action bar. So you can see at the right side of this action bar there is three dots are available. This is an icon. This icon is called the overflow icon in Android. The meaning of this icon is there is something hidden behind this icon. So if you select this icon, you can see there is some options are available. This is called an options menu in Android. So in this project we are not change anything, but we have an options menu on the action bar. This is because when you create a new project in Android Studio, the Android Studio will automatically insert an options menu into the action bar of the activity. That's why this action bar is available. This options menu is available on the action bar. Okay, so we have to analyze this project, how the Android Studio will add this options menu into the action bar. First we have to analyze the main activity.java file. So we have to check out what are the code segments added into the main activity.java file for displaying the options menu on the action bar. Here is the first method on create. We familiar with this method because this is one of the activity lifecycle method. And here is the another method called on create options menu. This is a new menu for us, new method for us. And here is another method called on options item selected. This is also not a familiar method. Okay, actually this method on create options menu, this method is responsible for displaying that options menu on the action bar. This method will actually create that particular options menu on the action bar. And the purpose of this method on options item select, the purpose of this method is to handle the click events of the menu items. Okay, so we have to check what are the code segments inside this method. Here the get menu inflator, this method will actually return an object of menu inflator. So here is a menu inflator object, and by using that object we call the Android Studio called a method called inflate. So there are two arguments for this method. First one is the resource, first one is an XML resource, and second one is the menu argument. So here for this method on create options menu, here already we have an argument called the menu. This is an object of menu class, and for this method inflate, the second argument is the menu object. Okay, and here is the first argument. This is an XML resource file. R.menu means there is a folder called menu is available on the resource folder. We can check it out. So this is the resource folder. If you expand this resource folder, you can find out a folder called menu is available on the resource folder. So there is something available on this menu folder called an XML file. The name of the XML file is menu main. Okay, we can check it out. So here I am going to expand that particular menu folder. you can see an XML file is available on the menu folder with the name menu main. Here actually it inflate this XML file. Okay, so this statement is responsible for placing this options menu on the action bar. Okay, and now we can check it out what are the components inside that particular XML file. So now I am going to open the XML file. Okay, so here for this XML file the root element is menu. This is the root element. Of course there are some namespaces are available for this menu root element, and this is the item. There is only one item is available on the options menu called settings. So you can see it here. There is only one item is available with this menu, this one, and it has an ID. Also there is a title settings. Actually this is referred from the strings.xml file with identifier action settings. We can check it out. Go to the values folder, open up the strings.xml file. Here it is, action settings, and the value is settings. This is actually displayed on the action bar, settings. Okay, so again go back to main menu main.xml file. Of course here is a title is available, and there is some order category. Also there is a show as action is available, which is displayed as never. That means it is hidden on the action bar. Okay, so all these things are automatically added by Android Studio. The Android Studio will automatically add an options menu on the action bar. Now I am going to delete all these items. First one, here I am going to remove the on options menu from the main activity.java file. Also I remove the on options item selected. We are going to recreate all these things. Okay, so for adding a menu in Android, first thing you have to create a separate XML file for the menu layout. So you have to place that particular XML file inside a folder called menu. That particular folder is available on the resource folder. So first thing you have to place an XML file on the menu folder. So here I am going to create a new XML file. So right click the menu folder and create a new and select the menu resource file. Okay, and here I name the file as my menu and click OK. Now here we got a new XML file called my menu on the menu folder. So here I am going to add some menu items. Add an item. You can add an item using item attribute. The first thing, you have to provide an ID for the item. So here I am going to provide an ID using ID attribute plus ID. I name it as ID search. Okay, and the second attribute you must use is the title. You have to add a title for the item. So use the attribute Android title. Here I am going to use a title from the strings.xml file. So add the string. I name it as title search. Okay, now we have to add this resource into the strings.xml file. So go to the strings.xml file and add a new string resource. Change the name into title search. Okay, and put some values. I name it as search. Now go back to mymenu.xml file. This is title search. There is some spelling mistake. Okay, now it's okay. So now I add only a single item. Now I am going to add one more item. I change the ID into share, ID share. Okay, also change the title into title share. So now we have to add this particular resource into the strings.xml file. So go to the strings.xml file and add a new string resource. Change the name into title share. Put some value. Okay. So now here we have a new XML file inside the menu folder called my menu, and here the root element is menu, and there is two items, search and title is available. Search and share, there are two items, search and share is available. So now here I am going to add this menu into the action bar. So go to the main activity.java file. So for adding a particular options menu into the action bar, you have to override a method called onCreateOptions menu. Override this method. Okay. So here, for inflate that particular XML file into the action bar, first thing we need an object of menu inflator. So first you have to create an object of menu inflator. I name it as menu inflator, and you can just call the method called get menu inflator. This method will return an object of menu inflator. And now by using this object of menu inflator, you have to inflate that particular XML file. So menu inflator and call the method called inflate. Here you have to put two arguments. First one is the XML resource, and second one is an object of menu class. So here we already got an object of menu class as parameter for this method on create options menu. So the first parameter for this method is the XML resource file. So here the menu XML is available on the menu folder. So r dot menu dot, the XML file name is my menu, and the second argument is an object of menu class. So you have to pass the menu class object. So here we successfully inflate an options menu, so you have to return true. Okay, now we complete the coding. So now here we add another new menu into the action bar of the main activity. So now we can check it out. So now I am going to run the project. Okay, now we have the application available on the virtual device. So if you select the overflow icon, here we got another two menu items, search and share. So this is the options menu which is recently created. Okay, so this is how we simply add an options menu into the action bar of an activity. So now I'm going to make some changes on this menu. So go to my menu.xml. Here there are two items, search and share. Okay, so now I am going to add some icons for these items. So here this item have only one title and ID. Now here I am going to put some icon for these items. So if you put some icon for the item instead of title, the Android system will display the icons. So we need some icons. So here we have two items, search and share. So here I have the icons for search and share. So I copy these two icons. Now open Android Studio. Now go to the drawable folder, right click the drawable folder and paste the icons. And I put the two icons on the drawable MTPI folder. Click OK. Click OK. Now here we have the two icons, action search and action share, on the drawable folder. These two icons are .png files. Now here I am going to add another attribute into the item. So Android icon, it is available on the drawable folder. This item is the search, so we have to use the icon for search. I see action search. Now here is the second item, share. So here I am going to add another attribute. Here the icon name is share. Okay, now we have title and icon for these two items, but if you run this application again, instead of title, the Android system will display the icons for these items. Okay, now we can check it out. So now I run the application again. Okay, now we have the application available on the virtual device. So now we have icons for the two items. So if you click the overflow icon, yeah, there is some mistake. The icons are not showing up. It only display the title. Yeah, this is a mistake from my side. Okay, forget about it. I just remove the icon attribute. We will discuss it later. I just remove the icon attribute. Okay, it's a mistake from my side. So now on the action bar, there is an option menu that contains two items, search and share. So now here the two items are hidden using the overflow icon. Suppose you not want to hidden these items, you want to display the items on the action bar. In such cases, you have to use another attribute called the show as action. So here I am going to make these two items are always available on the action bar. So here I am going to add another attribute called the show as action. And if room means if there is sufficient space is available on the action bar, it will display it. Always means it always displayed. Okay, so I use if room. That means if there is sufficient space available on the action bar, this item will be available on the action bar. Okay, so there is a mistake. What is that? Okay, we need to add some namespaces. So go to the previous menu XML file. Here you have to copy this namespace. Now come back to the new XML file. Now add the newly copied namespace here. Again the same error. Yeah, you have to use the correct namespace identifier. Here it is app. So instead of Android, you have to write app. Okay, so now this item, the first one, search item, is always displayed on the action bar. So we can check it out. So now I am going to run the application again. Okay, now we have the application available on the virtual device. Now look into the action bar. Now here you can see the search item is always displayed on the action bar. So when you select the overflow icon, there is only one item, share item, is available. The search is always visible on the action bar. This is because there is sufficient space is available on the action bar. Okay, so now we have only title for these two items. So now I am going to add the icons for these two items using Android icon attribute. The first one is the search icon, so use the action search icon. Also add an icon for the second item, share item, using icon attribute deployable action share. Okay, so now these two items have both title and icon, and the first item is visible on the action bar and the second item is hidden using the overflow icon. So what happened if we run the application again? So now I am going to run the application again. Okay, now look into the action bar. Instead of title, it will display the icons for the search. Okay, so if you're using both title and icon for an item, if that particular item is visible on the action bar, the Android system will display the icon instead of title. So if you select the overflow icon, you can see for the share item it will display the title, but here for the share item icon is also available for share item, but the Android system will display the title for the share item because it is not available on the action bar. It is just hidden using the overflow icon. Okay, so now I am going to change this one also visible on the action bar. So show as action if room. Yeah, instead of Android, change this one into app. So now I am going to run the application again. Okay, now look into the action bar. Now there are two items, the search and share. But for the two items there is no title, there is only icons are available. This is because the two items are now visible on the action bar, so the Android system will display the icons instead of title. And also you can see that here now the overflow icon is not available because there is no hidden items on the action bar. All items are visible on the action bar. I hope you enjoyed this video. So in the next episode we are going to learn how to handle the click events of the menu items. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.